ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So, from the previous instructions, we have been seeing Lord Kapila is describing the nature of this material world, how the material nature actually influences the living entity. So we saw earlier Lord Kapila describing material nature. It has some varieties, three modes of material nature. It is divided into these three gunas. And these three gunas, when the living entity comes in contact with any of these three gunas, he is conditioned in a certain way. Someone coming in contact with Rajoguna, he is conditioned in a certain way. Tamoguna in a certain another way. Sattva-guna in another way. So, and the living entity not only is conditioned and he acts in a certain way, he identifies himself as the doer, not understanding that actually helplessly he is doing. The spirit soul is not involved actually in that sense in doing sinful activities. Being influenced by these three modes of material nature, he forgets his original spirit of doing, serving Krishna, and he is serving Maya. So, this is because of being influenced by three modes of material nature. What else happens? The three modes of material nature, or this material nature, it acts in two ways. It covers the knowledge, the original understanding of the living entity, illusions him and makes him to identify himself with matter through ahankara. And the living entity thus ascribes all actions to him. I am the doer, I did this. I worked hard. I made so much money. Actually, he is just witnessing and desiring. Everything is carried out by the three modes of material nature. Helplessly, he is dragged in identifying with those actions. Sometimes, devotees, they say, Prabhu, what to do? My nature is like this. I am angry by nature, short-tempered by nature. Sometimes we find devotees. Actually, it is not the nature of the spirit soul. We have acquired that nature. If we have acquired, then actually we can give it up also. Because it is an acquired nature. It is not the original nature of the living entity. Yes, it is difficult because how long we have been contaminated by certain kind of nature, and insurmountable to give up our habits, our nature. It's not very easy. But actually, at least we have to start understanding it is not my nature. It is all three modes of material nature which is influencing me. Under that influence, I am acting. And I am thinking, this is how I am. Isn't it? In reality, we are all servants of Krishna, loving servants of Krishna. Having forgotten that, we have assumed varieties of roles in this material world, varieties of designations in this material world. Isn't it? So that is how the material nature acts. It illusions. And somehow or other, if the living entity tries to understand, starts understanding that actually there is something wrong. I do not want to die, but I die. I do not want old age. I do not want suffering, but I suffer. And when he tries to understand and tries to get out of its grip, then there is pulling potency of Maya which acts. So there is covering potency, there is pulling potency. So practically everything is done under the control of Maya. Ahankara vimudhatma karta aham, I am karta. Foolishly he thinks, I am the doer. So that is why the word which is used here, it is called Paratantra. Tadasya samsritir bandhaha. This identification with matter, samsritir bandhaha, he gets completely entangled in samsriti. What is the meaning of samsriti? Samsriti means the cycle of being born again and again, die again and again. This is called samsriti. Samsriti means actually suffering. So he gets bound in this material suffering. Paratantram cha tatkritam. And he is completely under the control, under the grip of Maya. Paratantram. So there are two words, Swatantra and Paratantra. When one can act independently, that is called Swatantra. When one is acting under certain direction, he is called Paratantra. So what does the material nature do? What does the living entity do when it is under the influence of material nature? It acts by the dictation of material energy. So three modes of material nature, in a certain way it will influence you, it will impel you to act in a certain way. And we ascribe, I have done. this is great thing I have done. But actually, Prabhupada gives an example. It is just like the master and the dog. The dog is fully under the control of the master, acting on the instructions of the master. So we have now taken our master as this material nature, Maya, under whose dictation we are helplessly acting, doing varieties of activities, in this material field, identifying ourselves with that field, and then once we identify, then actions are ours, then reactions are also ours. Once we understand that actually asangoyam, the spirit soul, has nothing to do with three modes of material nature, and once it understands I am different and it does not ascribe the action, then the grip of three modes of material nature influencing him will stop by the mercy of the Lord. You see? So, this is how the living entity actually suffers in this material world, being under the control of Maya. Now, Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example to explain. Maya, even though it is just like the energy of the Supreme Lord, but it acts in two different ways. To one who is surrendered to the Supreme Lord, Maya has no control. Rather, Maya facilitates. But to the one who wants to be independent of the Lord, he is completely under the grip of Maya. So Prabhupada gives an example. It is just like the police department is created for actually facility of the citizens. Isn't it? Do we need to be afraid of police department? Just like traffic police is there or police is there, we are not afraid because they help us in varieties of ways. But criminal is afraid. See? Their action on citizen is different. It is protective. But for the criminals, it is punishment. That is how we have to understand. Similarly, if we act under the direction of the Supreme Lord, the same actions in this material world directed towards the Lord will liberate us. Same actions. But the same action to gratify our senses is a punishment, and we will suffer. This is the example which Narad Muni gives to Vedavyasa when he is inspiring him to write Bhagavatam. He says, you have written so many Vedic literatures, and there you have inspired people to do fruitive activities. Even though you have given some allurements, and at the same time, your goal is that people will follow certain rules and regulations and they will gradually become purified. But let me tell you, the nature of the living entity, by nature, they are misled into doing fruitive actions. They will hardly care for your prohibitions. They will not care for your prohibitions, what you have given. So, in one way, You are responsible in that sense to encourage material activities. You have encouraged material fruitive activities in the form of Vedic literatures. Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda. See, he is given for good intention. His intention was that somehow or other, slowly I will purify the living entity. Some rules and regulations they will follow. They have certain tendencies which they have acquired because of three modes of material nature. So slowly with prohibition and allurement, they can be purified. But the living entity, Swabhava Raktasya, he says, Anuraktasya, is very attached to material enjoyment. So he will not care for prohibitions. And that is what we see. Actually, that is what it has come to true. Where we find people following when they want to eat meat, the prohibitions given in the Vedic literature, nobody follows. Isn't it? So then he says, why don't you write something by which the living entity can actually get out of the three modes of material nature? And then he gives the example. He says, you know very well that, just like the example is given, the same milk, when it is applied in two different ways, it acts in two different ways. As milk, when one takes it, sometimes we get diarrhea. But the same milk you convert into curds and you take, it will cure your problem. So he says, the fruitive activities which you have encouraged in the Vedic literature, now you encourage the living entity to do the same activities for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. You describe the activities of the Supreme Lord and you encourage the living entities to do all their activities for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. In the form of Bhagavatam, you write the glories of devotional service. And then he even gives a very wonderful example. He says that even if somebody, you have encouraged, fruitive actions. Let us say somebody does fruitive actions. All his material duties he does very nicely. Swadharma it is called. Somebody is a brahmachari, somebody is a grahastha, somebody is a vanaprastha. But if one does not develop any attachment for Krishna, he says it is all waste of his shrama. Shrama eva hi kevalam. And then he says, whereas, let us say somebody out of not even properly understanding what is devotional service, out of some sentiment, he has taken to devotional service. But after some time, he gives it up and once again becomes bewildered by Maya. Then he is asking Ved Vyas, do you think there is still a loss for him? Still there is no loss for him. Because whatever he has done in devotional service will never go in vain. And then Narad Muni even says, anyone who has performed devotional service to the Supreme Lord, even if he suffers, his sufferings are distinct. He does not suffer like a karmi in this material world. So he's saying, so don't you think you should actually describe the glories of the Supreme Lord? You should write about devotional service to the Supreme Lord. You should encourage people to do activities for the Supreme Lord. Actually, this is a great advantage by the Supreme Lord, even in our conditional life. Even in our conditional life, we don't have attachment for the Supreme Lord. Somehow or other, on the instructions of the spiritual master, if we try to apply our activities for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, we will get liberated. We will develop attachment to the Supreme Lord. How much important it is to follow the different instructions given by the spiritual master, to engage his disciples in varieties of devotional service. Varieties of devotional service. And even though the Yuga Dharma of this age is to chant the holy name of the Lord, understanding the influence of Kali, the faults in Kali, how people are lazy, even spiritually, disturbed, always disturbed. Prabhupada has given at least chant minimum 16 rounds and balance time, engage in varieties of service. See what Narad Muni had prescribed to Ved Vyasa. Because sometimes devotional service is understood to be, I have love for the Lord in my heart. I love Preeti. But that Preeti has to manifest in our action also. I am saying I have Preeti towards the Lord, I should chant with Preeti, but when service of the Lord is given, do we do it with Preeti? Isn't it? When we are chanting, actually what are we asking the Lord? We are asking, give me engagement, give me engagement. 64 rounds we are chanting. Give me engagement, more and more engagement. And when the Lord is happy, okay, I'll give you engagement. No, somebody else can do it. Why I should do it? Actually, we are not understanding. We are thinking only chanting is devotional service. Then all other activities we are doing, these all karmi activities. No. The spiritual master knows exactly how to engage our different tendencies, otherwise which we will use to satisfy our senses. It is just the diversion to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Our tendencies to act for sense gratification should be utilized to act for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. That is how we should act. Have we thought about this? When I am washing the dishes of the Lord, do I do it with Preeti? Only chanting should be done with Preeti. Isn't it? This is what we have to understand. So these feelings are very important. Just like in yesterday's session, we heard mechanical things are not 100 years of mechanical chanting and even one round of chanting with feeling. Yes, here is Krishna, I have invited Krishna on my tongue. Should I not serve him by hearing him, by inviting him to my heart? Isn't it? How much difference? So should we forget this? That whatever service I am engaged in, whatever it may be life membership, it may be cleaning the vessels of the Lord, it may be cutting vegetables. Should we not do it with preeti? Should we not think it is for the Lord? That is devotional service. Somehow we forget and we think, no, I have to chant, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to read. No, please understand. At the time, what you are doing, you should be fully absorbed in that. Fully absorbed in that. Otherwise, you are only doing karmic service. There is no difference between a mason who is building the temple because in return he is taking money out of that. It's not a devotional service. Of course, some credit he will get. It's not a loving devotional service. So, devotee understands very clearly. If I am allotted certain service of the Lord, by whatever reason it has come to me, some devotee was absent, it has come as a standby to me, should I think, अरे मेरे को आ गया service? Actually, devotee should be very happy. Somehow or other I have got some service of the Lord. And when he is doing that service, be absorbed. Don't be in a hurry. I have to complete this and I have to do something else. That is not devotional service. Every moment what you do in devotional service, you take ruchi in that. Take interest in that. Not that 2 hours I will take interest in chanting and when Krishna is pleased with that and he gives you a lot of devotional service, I have no interest in that. Isn't it? That is not devotional service. When you are reading book, read book. Just be fully absorbed in reading. Don't think about your services at that time. When you are chanting, chant. That time also, no thinking of anything else. Similarly, when you are doing service, practical, physical service, be very conscious, fully absorbed. This is my Lord's, something I am doing for personal service of the Lord. Isn't it? That is how one has to be. So whether it is honoring prasadam or whether it is cooking bhoga for the Lord, it is washing the dishes of the Lord, one has to be fully absorbed with feelings. Without feelings, it is not devotional service. It is something else. It is mechanical. Do we want to do mechanically? What is the use? We can hire somebody, no? We can hire so many people. We give them money, they will do. 100 times they will wash dishes. So devotee has to develop that feelings. Otherwise, what is the difference between us and karmi? Isn't it? This I am telling from my practical experience. Even when I was in Bangalore as a temple commander, sometimes the devotees have this kind of tendency. Comparing. We were hearing yesterday also. We are praying to the holy name. Free me from comparing. Then we are thinking, this devotee is doing something very light service, very heavy service is given to me. Or if heavy service is given, heavy mercy will also come. That you are not seeing. Isn't it? So, This is what we have to understand about devotional service. The devotional service, if it is done with proper understanding, with proper feeling, and that is what Kunti Maharani also says, Prabhupada also explains that. Somebody in material satisfaction cannot chant with feelings, Govinda, correct? What does Kunti Maharani say? So with feeling, somebody absorbed in material satisfaction cannot chant the holy name of the Lord with feelings. Somebody who understands nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to Krishna, is Nishkinchana, whose only property is Krishna. One who is thinking everything, this is all my property, mine, he cannot chant feelingly. When one understands I'm completely impoverished, nothing, if I accept Krishna, then feelingly he can chant the holy name. You see? All these things go into our, don't think that only in 2 hours you will be able to somehow or other manufacture some preeti for Krishna. And balance 24 hours, you can neglect Krishna's service and think that I will develop preeti in just chanting for 2 hours. No. All that is preparation for our chanting. Cooking, is it done just immediately? So much of preparation is required for cooking. Right? We are only thinking cooking is done just like this. No. Cutting vegetable is required. Cleaning vessels is required. All that is also going. That is all cooking. So similarly, if we have to develop preeti, then you have to develop. You have to see Krishna in your life. You have to start seeing. We should have proper perceptions. Prabhupada says that. If devotee is thinking somehow or other I have to finish, let us say somebody is doing DT service, whatever garbage flower is available, let me put on Krishna. Anyway, he is not going to, Krishna is not going to say anything. Somehow or other I will finish. Then Prabhupada says, your spiritual life is finished. Nothing else. Your spiritual life is finished. That we should see. Mercifully Krishna has come, mercifully is giving us service, and we are not ready. We are thinking, I'll do something else. Some misunderstanding about devotional service. Everything we do is devotional service. So whatever you are doing, just put your heart and soul in that. Just put your heart and soul. You see how much preeti you will develop for chanting the holy name. You don't have to manufacture. Isn't it? That is how preeti it is. When you love somebody, you don't have to manufacture it. Correct? It's like, say for example, just take this example, you understand this, very important. Mother, loving the child, how much trouble she takes cleaning the stool of the child. Does she think it is a labor? We cannot understand. All those difficulties she takes, it is labor of love. She is never burdened by that, never. Out of love she takes. That is how we have to understand. That is called preeti. Not that my child is smiling, I am very happy. And when the child is passing stool, go. No. That is not labor of love. So our preeti is not just in chanting. I'll chant nicely, Preeti Krishna. And then when service comes, somebody else let him do it. I'll sleep. Should understand. Except for genuine where we find, and that time also actually we should be thinking that today I lost a chance to do my prescribed service. Today I lost a chance to do my prescribed service. We should lament, we should think. Isn't it? Just like Madhu Pandit Prabhu was explaining, we have to pile up, pile up. Then it will become big. So like that, our devotional assets we have to keep piling up. Any moment lost in devotional service, gone forever, we should think. Isn't it? How much, just think about this. This is very important to understand. How much a man struggles in this world to maintain his family. Burden of love. You ask a man. My God, we have not seen. Family people you should ask. Day and night how they struggle to earn money so that his family can enjoy. Why is he taking so much trouble? Love, Preeti, he has got. See? Your parents you would have seen how they have struggled to bring you up. Preeti is there. That is called Preeti. So do we have for the Lord, for His services? That is what we should understand. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की